Welcome one and all to Umami Manga. I'm Petter, and this is James.
Hello.
And today we're talking about volume 11 of Oshi no Ko. This volume, Kana, her night with Shima, almost ended quite badly, but luckily all that really happened was Kana venting to Shima about her incomprehensible feelings for Aqua. But then the reporters who were fishing for a scandal made themselves known, sending Kana into despair for a little bit. Aqua managed to get the reporters not to publish the article by revealing to them that he and Ruby are indeed Ai's secret children.
Dun dun dun.
With that information out in the open, Ruby got very cross with Aqua, accusing him of no longer caring about their mom and calling him a liar and saying that she no longer considers him family. Aqua told Kana that the reason why he's been avoiding her has been to protect her, and he also told her that he and Akane aren't dating anymore. Aqua then reached out to Ichigo Saito to let him know about his plans, and then Act 9, the movie arc, begins. And this Act 9 opens with a chapter showing us that the horrible man that is Hikaru Kamiki is still doing the same kind of messed up shit to talented women as he did to Ai. Truly appalling.
Mm-hmm.
And the volume ends with a chapter that shows us how I convinced director Gotanda to make a Bikomachi documentary. The documentary was never finished, but apparently I let Gotanda film the real her. Lastly, Aqua brings the script for the 15-year lie to producer Kaburagi, and the film casting is presented. So yeah, I feel like the momentum of the story has been keeping up very well. I
Yeah.
think the previous volume, the previous volume had a good momentum as well, and it's continued throughout this volume as well. So yeah, I think it's this is a very exciting part of the story right now, personally.
Yeah, I agree. And to be honest, when we went into the story, I kind of expected this to be the pace of it all.
Yeah.
Um, but then we got, particularly the Tokyo Blade arc. It was pretty fillery. In my opinion. Yes, there are some important things that you could argue happen in it, but
Mm.
to me, it really slowed down the main plot. But now we're getting to the really juicy stuff, and you know, it's actually progressing towards. I assume is the finale eventually, and we're a few volumes out though from that.
Right, 5 more volumes after this. Yeah.
Right. So still quite a few things to happen. Uh, who knows how long this movie arc will take, but this is what it's all been leading up to since the very first volume. We've been teased about this,
Mm-hmm.
and now we're here. We're laying the trap,
Indeed.
if you will.
And speaking of like the movie arc and whatnot, like the vibe I'm getting is that this is the final arc, but I guess that would be very long
Yeah.
for being an Oshinoko arc. The arcs are usually like about a volume, maybe a little over a volume long each arc. So I guess for us to have like a final arc to be like this span over 5 volumes, that would be unlike this series. But at the same time, Aqua did say the curtain has already risen on the final chapter, and then like a page after that, it says Act 9, the movie arc, begins.
Hmm.
So that makes it sound like it is the final arc, but maybe it isn't.
Yeah. I'm curious what could potentially be the last arc after that, if there is another one.
Hmm.
The revenge arc. I mean, this whole thing is supposed to be revenge, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess maybe just getting the movie filmed could be the arc, and then confrontation, or you
Right.
know the actual climax could be the next one.
Yeah.
But I do see what you're saying. It does seem like, well, surely this is the last one. Um, but I guess I would also wouldn't be surprised if there's something else, you know, some other part of the plan that happens after the movie arc.
Precisely. Yeah, there's definitely room for it. So yeah, I guess we'll hop into the character discussions without further ado.
Okay.
Starting with Aquamarine Hoshino. So I thought it was rather interesting that Mem-cho's words to him about Aqua being responsible for Kana having entered the idol industry.
Yeah.
It seemed like it really had an effect on him, which initially I didn't really think it would. Um, but you know, it was ultimately those words, I guess one could argue, that made Aqua out himself and his sister about, you know, as being ice children, or at least it seemed that way to me.
Oh, you think that? I mean,
Well, it was what, like, ultimately it was those, I think, feelings of guilt that Mem-cho planted that in the end made Aqua do that, I think.
well, certainly mending his relationship with Kana. I think if Mem-cho doesn't say anything, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I think he would have tried to do what he did, no matter what. Particularly after talking with Ruby, I feel like it was Ruby giving the okay,
That's also
unknowingly giving the okay, was what really set that in motion.
Yeah.
Because he knew that was the only way to save Kana from the scandal,
Yeah.
which again saves the day.
Right. Like that. That's kind of like, obviously we've known about this, but like this is yet another example of like there's always this thing with Aqua where every good deed he seems to do for other people also benefits him and his endeavors. And
Fair.
it makes me wonder, like, at this point, there's like two options I could see. Like, either he's just really just a narcissist, or he is just so smart that he can consistently solve his own problems and other people's problems all at the same time. It's one of those two things, and I don't know which one.
Well, I think a bit of luck
That's true. That's
it plays
fair.
into it as well.
Yeah.
Unless, I mean, this is wild conspiracy theory, but could he be the one that was that? Because here's what I think, and that we're kind of going into the other discussion, but I'll just say it anyway.
Yeah, yeah, that's all good.
My thinking is that I forget her name, but the lady that Kana knew that invited her to meet Shima, um,
Oh yeah.
was the one who tipped off the paparazzi about Shima doing this kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Hence why she had that kind of look and why the paparazzi would even be there in the first place. And Miyako was mentioning how usually these kind of tips of scandals are caused by those who were previously used or not abused, but well, I guess in some cases, but not in this case, used by that famous person. And if that's kind of what I felt like. But
Mm.
my big brain conspiracy theory that I'm just throwing out there is, what if Aqua was somehow the one pulling the strings there
Oh.
of planting in her mind how to
Oh.
get back at Shima, thus putting Kana in that position so that he could use that. Now that's big brain conspiracy theory, and I think that's way too far. There's no way
Oh.
that's true, right? Um,
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, pretty diabolical. Now, to lend even more credence to that, this would have all happened after he had his revenge awakening, um, realizing that the father was still alive, or his father
Yeah.
was still alive. So it's likely, or well, I shouldn't say likely. It's a possibility that he could have done it. Um,
That's true. That's
or
fair.
possibility is not even the right word, but he would have had the motive
Hmm.
to do it if that were to be true. Anyway, yeah,
Yeah.
I just want to throw it out there since we're talking about, oh, could he possibly be that smart? Um,
Yeah.
it would add a layer to that point.
Yeah.
Um, that being said, and I've been talking a lot, I do think in this case, Aqua is kind of using the circumstances that are placed before him for his good, also to help, of course. I think there is the the desire for him, particularly with Kana, to help her out
Mm.
when needs be, and he's opportunistic, of course. Yeah, but I don't know if this is something that he necessarily planned all along. Although I think revealing his identity, I think that had to be something that he was planning on doing eventually, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think, like, yeah, as I said earlier, that Mem-cho's words to him affected him to do it, and while I think, well, like, I think that that was mostly like in terms of protecting Kana. I do agree with you that he would have done this eventually, regardless, and this way it just worked out, like, in all ways, in
Yeah,
all, except I guess with his relationship with his sister, that was kind of
yeah.
ruined,
We'll get
or
to that.
seemingly not great. But yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. So I agree. I agree with that.
mm,
It just sped up the process, or gave him the opportune moment.
yes. But yeah, I guess speak as like, yeah, about the thing with his sister and like the rift that was formed kind of between them. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Sad to see, and but I really liked that interaction between the two of them and how they were both kind of viewing, or kind of, there was a part where Ruby asked him how their mother in heaven would like, what she would think, if she saw him now and whatnot, and he responded like how he expected her to respond, and like, I don't know, it was just so, it I feel like they both know her so well, but they
Yeah.
have like slightly different perspectives, but still, like, they both know their mother, or their Oshi so well, and it was just very beautiful, I thought. um
Well,
it,
and to add on to that, it it feels like Ruby is kind of hanging on to the idol side of I,
mhm,
whereas Aqua is kind of embracing the true side of I, or the side that she never really revealed,
mhm,
um, her true self, and that's part of what this movie is about, right? Is showing about who she truly was, along with somehow getting the father to come out and whatnot. But it does feel that they're both clinging on to these separate views of I.
mm,
And I didn't think about that too much before, but after this volume, it seems clear that Ruby does have this uh, idolized view of I. Um,
yeah.
so I guess in that sense, it makes sense why she had such a violent reaction. But I agree with Aqua in what he said. I feel like I would, you know, basically just say, "Ah, jig is up. Well,
Right.
what can you do?"
Exactly.
And
I
move
thought
on.
that seemed so accurate.
Yeah, I
uh,
mean, I'm sure it would be devastating and heartbreaking, and it would, I guess, ruin her career somehow. Although that said, I think being the person that she was, just the incredibly talented person that she was, would
mhm,
overcome it.
yeah,
Especially in today's day and age. They even mention how scandals nowadays, yes, they can be big, but people are able to pivot pretty quickly unless
yeah.
it's something horrendous. And let me tell you, this is not horrendous.
No.
There's actually some other stuff that are pretty worse.
Yeah.
That hopefully they will get their just desserts. But
Mhm.
anyway, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah. Yes.
So, yeah, I guess I liked Aqua's more down to earth viewpoint on it.
Yeah, and so did I. Um, and I don't know if this is speculation territory, but at the end of that scene, after Ruby had stormed off, Aqua said to himself, "Now, even after I'm gone, you'll be able to get by in this world."
Right.
Seems to imply that he isn't counting on getting out of this revenge quest alive. I don't know.
I
It's
well,
it's ominous.
yeah, I agree. I mean, and that's a great point to bring up. You know, that does sound kind of like a death flag. Now, it could be a red
Right?
herring,
Could be,
but
for sure.
who knows? At the very least, I want to see your thoughts. Do you think him revealing the truth was not only to get his plan in motion, but also to push Ruby away, like he expected Ruby to react this way?
Mm. I hadn't thought about that, but that is an interesting thought. Um,
Because, well, and to further clarify it, like
uh,
you said, he said it would be now when I'm gone, it would be better for her, or whatever, however he put it. But if he's dead, if he dies, I think he's hoping that having a rift between the two, his death won't be as bad for Ruby. I mean, but again, we don't know. I feel like it's too early to
hmm.
say he's going to die.
Like, or
But
yeah, maybe it isn't like alluding to him dying at all. Maybe it's just the fact that
yeah,
now that they are separated, um,
uh-huh.
Ruby will be able to get by thanks to Aqua having outed them both as Ice children because it was a great publicity thing for the both of them. And kind of it's just alluding to that.
Maybe,
Hmm.
maybe. You know, she has become much more independent since her own snap back in I forget what the town was called, but her own character change.
Yeah.
Um, she's become much more independent then. So it's to me, it almost seems like maybe this extra push is not necessarily needed in whatever Aqua is thinking here. But I don't know. I mean, for some reason, it's all according to his plan.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, whether he had anticipated her reaction, I could see that, but yeah, again, like since it wasn't anything that I thought of like specifically, I don't know if I have like an outright opinion on it. Did you?
uh, I think I do think he's trying to push her away.
Okay.
Um, because as we stated, you know, I think he's wants to keep Ruby away from all of this grime so that she can continue to move up the ladder and actually make it to Ai's dreams and goals. I think he still has that envision and he wants her to be what I was trying to become. So to do so, I think he feels that there needs to be a separation between the two.
Mm.
And having a fight like that, uh, I could see how it could lead to that. I have a feeling it's not going to stay that way.
Hmm.
It would be. I feel like it would be a little sad if Ruby's not really doing anything for the rest of the story
I mean,
besides just her idol stuff.
right, although I mean, she's going to be supposedly in the movie, so they're gonna have to like collaborate
Right.
there.
Well, that's what I'm
Mm.
saying. Like there has to be some sort of
Hmm.
teamwork, collaboration,
Right.
if you will. So yeah.
Hmm. We also learned that Aqua has been working since he was a kid on this plan to torment his mom's killer. Obviously, it seems like this movie is the plan,
Mm-hmm.
or at least a part of it. But I'm so much looking forward to seeing how exactly this will play out and how it's going to affect Kamiki.
Oh
Obviously I think we'll leave our speculations on this for predictions later, but
yeah.
just knowing how thoroughly Aqua I really seems to have planned this out is fascinating and makes me so curious.
Yeah, I hope they deliver
Hmm.
on this. I mean, we've been waiting for so long, and
Yeah.
it feels like it's building up to a great climax reveal, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. But anything else on Aqua?
Yeah, a couple other things I just wanted to point out. They're just minor things, really.
Mm?
The journalist that he talks to, his design was definitely Akasaka style,
Yes, I thought about that as well.
no doubt. And I think it's that same chapter. He's just so melodramatic sometimes. He's an abomination in print. It's like, oh my gosh, really? It's not that big, dude. It's not that big.
Yeah, no, that's
But to some people, I guess it could be.
for sure for some people.
I understand. Idol culture goes deep for some, and I guess that would be devastating for some people.
Hmm.
But an abomination in print is some pretty heavy words. I could think of a few things that have been printed that were abominations. And that is not one of them. But anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Words mean things, people.
Yeah, like I
That's all
agree
I'll
with
say.
you. Like the way he painted it in that moment definitely made it seem like it would be far bigger. But in the context of the story and like the manga here, having that as like the midpoint of the volume with that reveal and that them being outed like that was pretty big.
Hmm.
But yeah, like
Yeah, it was big. It
as
was a
a
great
whole
reveal. I totally
in the
agree.
world, yeah, maybe not as huge.
Now, I will say, if the Kamiki stuff is ever revealed in print,
Hmm.
then you could say an abomination in print.
Hmm.
I let it go. I let that go.
Yeah.
Although maybe tone down the dramatics just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little. I know. I'm so picky with this manga. Something about this one. Something about it. Okay, I'm done.
All right. Well, let's move on and talk about Kana Arima. So naturally, the threat of a scandal affected Kana poorly at first.
Yeah.
It really seemed because there was the scene when she was like, I don't know, she was sitting in a park or something. She was outside at
Yeah,
night.
something like that.
There was that scene where she was sitting alone anyway, and it seemed like that type of moment when Aqua would just, sweep in, make everything better right away. Um,
Hmm.
but he didn't sweep in, and instead, it
Well,
was Kana who,
I'm
well,
sorry.
yeah,
Go ahead.
he was observing, but he didn't actually step in. Instead, Kana was able to talk herself up, and by she was
Yeah.
rationalizing the situation as just a small dent in her long career, and I really liked that. Like she was able to like get herself up by herself, and sure she didn't like get all the way up. Like she was still feeling guilty, like in terms of
No.
like toward her fellow idols and whatnot, and like how she could have affected them. But like in terms of like her own career and how she felt about that and how she felt like the situation would affect that, she was doing rather well, and I really like that. Of course, Aqua did rescue
Yeah.
Kana from this scandal ultimately, uh,
Yeah. Sure.
but just like in that scene specifically, which to me at least so much felt like one of those scenes when Aqua would just
Uh
appear
huh.
out of nowhere to save the day.
Yeah.
He didn't,
Hmm.
so yeah, I liked it.
Yeah. I completely agree. Uh, it was very satisfying to see Kana be the one to tell herself, "No, I can do this. I don't need to go crawling to Aqua for help.
Yeah.
I can do this. I'll figure it out." And I don't even like my fans.
Yeah.
I thought that was all very funny.
Yeah.
Well, and true to Kana's character, and that's same with Aqua. Aqua knew that she wouldn't necessarily come crawling to. I know that's not a great phrase to use. It's for some reason the only one that comes to mind.
Mm.
Basically, that she could handle herself. She could handle it. Now, of course, like you said, he helped out in a huge ways to where it was not detrimental whatsoever to her. But I do appreciate them writing it in a way where Kana would have still been okay. It would have been tough. It would have been a hill or a mountain to climb for her career, um, but she wasn't just relying on somebody else. There's nothing wrong with relying on somebody else. It's just that this story, a lot of the characters do end up relying on one person to somehow magically save it all with his big brain.
Yep.
Um, and while it did technically happen again, um, in this instance, it didn't need to happen that way for Kana to move on and, you know, um, improve. So
Hmm.
anyway, like that lesson learned for Kana. She'll never try that route again.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
kudos to her for sticking up to her feelings and um, not going down that path. But
definitely.
who am I to judge? I guess.
I also found it very funny later on in the scene when she intended to thank Aqua for what he did for her.
Hmm.
I found it very funny that Kana was scolding Aqua for not using his mouth in the same scene where she ended up using her mouth a bit too much as she was friend zoning Aqua left and right before learning
Yeah.
that he and Akane had broken up. And
Oof.
immediately regretting everything she said. Uh,
Uh,
I feel like in this volume, Kana came back. The Kana that we know and love kind of came back, and I love
absolutely.
it so much. It's so much fun to see her like
Yeah.
this.
It had been volume after volume of just depression and kicking Kana down. And
Yeah.
this volume obviously didn't start very great.
Right.
Um, but she picked herself up, and that's what I love to see
Mm-hmm.
from her because she is such a strong character.
Yeah.
And yeah, Kana is back, and of course it helps that she was able to repair her relationship with Aqua, and I think that just made her feel 100 times better as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whether it's a love interest or just a friend, having a fight or not, seeing each other as much or just not being with each other is sometimes that can hurt and that
Yeah.
can really affect a person. So it's nice to be able to for Kana to have that friendship again.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's
Of
awesome.
course, she would like to be more than that at this point.
Yeah, but she's happy. She's feeling good. It seems like
Yeah,
she's calling him Akun now, so that's
which
good
I
for
didn't
her.
realize this, but that was foretold in the first volume. That's what
Ah,
in her interview, Kana called him Akun,
right. That's
and we were like, "Well,
right.
I guess that must be Aqua." And
Yeah,
I guess this is the first time that she did that. Started doing that, I guess.
precisely this. This was yeah. This was that's a good catch. I hadn't thought about it,
Yeah.
but I like the moment you said it, I was like, yeah, you're right. She does say it like that in the volume one. That's fun.
To be fair, I didn't see that until I just went back to the first volume and skimmed through those interviews,
Nice,
see, and then I saw it.
nice.
So,
Yeah, very nice.
um, yeah, yeah. I don't know if this is exactly true. So this is just another fun tidbit. The magazine that published these stories
Mm.
was going for an issue date of 10/23. Now I wasn't sure if that was October 2023 or October 23rd, which is my birthday. So if it was October 23rd, that's pretty neat.
Right.
But if it's just October 2023, then ignore everything I just said.
I did read it as being the date, like the specific date, but I don't know. I don't know magazine lingo or whatever.
Yeah, Japanese publications is strange to me. For starters, historically, Japan has had morning papers and evening papers, and maybe even middle of the day papers. I don't know. They like papers,
Hmm.
newspapers. And then they have their magazines, and those magazines can have varying publication dates, but it makes sense because they have their own schedule. I don't know. It's somewhat complicated. So I wasn't sure if this was another one of those instances where they're just saying for the October month or literally the date. Um,
True.
anyway, just want to point that out and mention how complicated publication can be, at least to an outsider like myself.
Yeah, like because the timeline is hard to pinpoint. Like what year is it?
Yeah, that's true
Maybe
too.
this was like something that points to it being 2023. Um, or maybe not. I really don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all I have on Kana, but
Mm,
I'll just echo again. Glad to have her back to the old Kana. Um,
yeah,
I hope we're not having any more kicking dirt in her face anytime soon.
let's hope so.
Please.
Maybe not ever again.
Yeah, ever again would be
Yeah.
nice. I
Yeah.
mean, with the movie casting, I, I'm sure Akane is and Kana are gonna have their qualms. So but that's fine because that's still Kana. It's all the other stuff that happens to her that I don't like.
Yeah.
Or that has happened to her that I don't like.
Right. But yeah. That's all for her.
Yeah.
Let's talk next about Ruby Hoshino. So early on in the volume, she was making these observations where we're kind of viewing things through her mind for a scene where she was thinking back to like when she got into the entertainment industry. She noticed how more celebrities than one might think were in relationships, and
Mm.
there's also the point made that like as you were pointing out earlier, how social media's huge presence everywhere has made each scandal kind of do less damage than it used to do
Yeah.
back when news articles weren't everywhere. Now that they are everywhere, each one has a smaller impact, um, and that also in turn makes it less risky for idols and celebrities to date, because if it would be out,
Mm.
it wouldn't be as damaging as it would have been back in the day. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but Ruby was also kind of, I guess, repulsed by the fact that most of these leaks about idols dating come from the idols' inner circle and like their
Right.
co-idols, which is pretty
Mm-hmm.
dirty. And I don't know. I thought this volume, like this is just one example of it, but there were, I think this volume as a whole was, I think, more obvious than a lot of other volumes have been with these critiques against the entertainment industry. Obviously, the whole manga is about that, but I thought this volume kind of spelled it out for us clearer than some other volumes have been doing. Also, the good amount of focus on how children are exploited in showbiz and how that tends to be a thing, which also actually reminded me,
Yeah.
a small tangent, also reminded me a little bit of Kaguya-sama, which also has these messages about adults needing to take responsibility to protect children and whatnot. So I thought that was a little bit of a similarity, but regardless, yeah, I thought this volume did give us the message more obviously maybe than other volumes have been.
Yeah, that's a great point. Certainly, it's one of the great things about the series is uh, the in-depth look into the industry, whether it's completely true or sensationalized. But I think there's definitely some truths, unfortunate truths to it. And to be fair, I think, I mean, Hollywood is no, pure person, of course. But I do think Japan has its issues as well, as stated in this series, in the entertainment industry as a whole. Um,
Hmm.
so it is interesting to read about it and think about it, and not that I think will us readers in the West will ever have an influence on that per se, but
Eh.
I don't know. I feel like part of the reasons why they decided to write this, besides just the shock of it all, is maybe to get people thinking and hopefully inspire change, maybe. But
I mean, yeah,
anyway,
one could hope
who
for
knows?
sure. I also think narratively in that moment when it was presented in the manga, it was also kind of to make us, or to give the readers a similar kind of fear as Kana would have for the potential scandal coming.
Mm, yeah.
Or actually, I don't know if fear is the right word, since it does kind of establish that it's not as big a deal these days. So, maybe it's just that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. It was funny how we got basically a whole page spread of tips on avoiding the paparazzi.
True. Yeah.
And it feels like that's pretty accurate to
Mm.
maybe what people have to do, like celebrities have to do, particularly in Japan. I'm not sure how bad it is here out west. It probably depends on your level of stardom.
For sure.
Um, but I don't know. It feels like there's so many idols in Japan
Yeah.
and probably Korea as well that any sort of relationship or dating is probably really rough.
Yeah, man. That sucks. But yeah, Miyako really gave them so many tips.
Yeah.
uh,
Okay, so getting back to Ruby,
yes.
um, I have a feeling you're gonna disagree with me a little
Oh,
bit, but I I feel like she got way too mad over Aqua leaking the truth. yes, a little bit irritated. Fine, I get it. I, but you were the one who told him that if there was anything that he could do to save off Kana, should he do it? This is the consequences of your answer.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be this great friend to Kana, which I still think she is, but she's so furious about this, she doesn't realize how much this potentially saved Kana.
Yeah.
So look, I get her worship of I, or her love for I totally get it, and you can be upset, absolutely. But this, to me, that it was so overblown, and that's what makes it interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't fully disagree with you that
Uh-huh.
it was too much, but I do partially disagree with you. I
Okay.
I don't think I have a problem with her reaction, or like, or sorry, let me get it clarified from you first.
Sure.
Did you think it made sense for her character or not to make sense for her character to do this, or to act this way?
I thought she'd have a little more understanding to the
Gotcha.
situation and why it had to be done. Instead, she basically calls him a traitor, said, accusing him, you're doing it for money or something like that, for the fame. It's like, what?
Hmm.
No,
I mean, right, it
he
definitely.
he did it to partly to save Kana, and I mean the other part is obviously his other means, but
Hmm.
it to me it seems so reactionary, and I guess I can't say completely out of character, but I felt like Ruby would have. I do feel like Ruby should have had more understanding about it all. Um,
Yeah. I I think the way I see it is that because of what we were talking about earlier, how Ruby's view of I is so like, well, you said that she's kind of seeing, or kind of, well, yeah, she has this connection to the idol side of I,
yeah.
and I think that's definitely one thing that's true. I also think that Ruby, she has always, like, even for such a huge portion of her previous life as well, been such a big fan of I. I think she is with the fans in a lot of ways, in viewing I the same way the fans do. And the fans don't want to hear.
Ah,
They don't want to know about I having had children.
so she's part of the problem.
I think she might be. um no, but like, I can buy that mindset given what we know of her, or given what we've picked up on from her. But I agree that it's extreme, and to like just denounce Aqua as her brother is a lot.
Yeah, it's like
Um,
what?
that's a whole lot.
What? Yeah, that was a great point you made. I didn't think about that aspect where it's almost a fan reaction, and not maybe not even so much a daughter of I reaction.
Hmm.
Um, although obviously she is that and has love
Yes.
for
Yeah.
her, but
Uh huh.
you're right. That is the way she reacted is something that a diehard fan would probably do. Um, although it's so frustrating. It's like, what does it matter? I mean, yes,
Yeah.
she was underage. That's like, whoa, that's big.
Mm.
But okay, move on. Like, what? It happened.
Yeah.
What does it matter?
Hmm.
I don't know. It's a whole. As we stated when we first started doing this series, it's a whole world that I really don't understand. The idol world.
Yeah.
Um, I'm just an outside observer.
Hmm. Absolutely. But anything more on Ruby?
That's it.
All right, then let's talk about Hikaru Kamiki. This messed up motherfucker. I hate him. I, and
Yeah.
I hate him, and I kind of love that Akasaka is making him so evil and so hateable. I kind of love that because I don't know, like, it, obviously there's a ton of hateable villains in media, but there's also, and I feel like maybe it started to become more common, sort of ish lately, uh, for villains to be sympathetic or understandable in some little way. But like, Akasaka is making this villain truly truly hateable, truly, absolutely horrible, and I respect that.
Yeah.
I kind of think that that's kind of nice. We can really hate him.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes it easier for us to cheer for Aqua's revenge,
Yeah.
wherever it may lead. I mean, it seems to be leading towards him murdering, at least attempting to murder Kamiki, right? So, how do you get behind that unless the person he's trying to attempt to do is just despicable beyond belief? That being said, I am not uh, endorsing anybody, no matter who the person across the table may be, to kill that person. I am not. It does not matter. That
Yeah.
that is never the answer. But this is a story.
Yeah. To be fair, we don't know what exactly the revenge plan is if it does entail killing Kamiki, right?
Well, you're right. I guess I'm assuming that's part of the darkness of the revenge. I mean, it wouldn't be that dark if that wasn't his end game to begin with. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Could be some torture thing that's just really dark.
Yeah, I guess. And then okay, you're free to go.
Or just
I don't
like,
know, like
torture him forever, like till he
uh-huh.
dies of old age. Like
Which I sure. Um.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyway, no, it's fine. Like I don't know how it ends,
Mm-hmm.
so all I can go off is the vibes.
Right.
But I do think, and we'll talk about it later, that I do think that there is a humiliation. I think I mentioned this in the previous discussion, is that there'll be some sort of humiliation towards Kamiki,
Mm-hmm.
and then I do think may go further from that. But anyway, yeah, no, absolutely despicable. I wouldn't put it past either of them to maybe not so much make him sympathetic, but because of his young age when he became a father for the first time,
Mm.
I think it's just inherently something that's hard to demonize. I mean, because surely he would have been the victim. Now, if he comes around and makes it seem as though he was the one that instigated everything, even at that age,
Yeah.
then okay.
Right.
Clearly, this is a psychopath we're dealing with.
Mm.
Um,
Right. That's true. The thing with Himikawa had almost slipped my mind. He was very young.
yes, and I feel like that would be the way to, I guess, I sympathize, for lack of a better word.
Poof, yeah. I don't want to sympathize with this guy.
I know, I totally get it.
But I get I
'Cause
also get your point there, yeah.
He's done terrible things. I mean, what we know and then what we don't know. I'm sure there's some other things that could come up as well, but there is that. So,
Mm-hmm.
was he thrust into the darkness, or did he just come into this world pitch black and it's terrible? I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, we shall. Oof, man. And apparently he's got some messed up fetish, kind of, about murdering talented and, according to him, high-value women in order to feel their value weigh on his. Kind of.
Is he absorbing their powers, their star talent?
I get. He probably feels like he is. Oh, man.
Oh man.
He is
mean,
so.
Talk about psychotic. Like that. That is definitely. That's like, yeah. Mass murderer. Levels of reasoning there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna ask, why did he kill her, but yeah, maybe it is some sort of fetish, like you mentioned. Like, does he get a thrill? Maybe he sees the stars in their eyes, and he's just like, "Oh man, I gotta dim those stars out." Maybe he wants to be the only star around.
Right. Well,
Although,
could be something like that.
It doesn't make any sense to kill all the talent around you, does it?
I mean, no.
Doesn't make sense to kill anybody.
No, exactly. Oh man. He's so evil.
So something that I don't think you know, season 2 of the anime
Hmm?
is long gone and finished.
Right.
But the way they ended it is that they showed, oh, what's her name? Katayase Yuda.
Oh
They
yeah.
showed her dead on against the rocks. We had no idea who this person was, having watched just
Gotcha.
season 2.
Interesting. Huh.
We being the audience. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, who is this? And then they showed Kamiki. I don't even remember what he said, to be honest. And that was it. It's like, oh, okay. So I
Huh.
guess that must be the father.
Interesting choice.
I know, right? Very interesting choice because there's a lot more to get to before even getting to this scene.
Right. Definitely.
Um, so I don't know. I don't know why they teased it there. Um, but to be fair, they had already hinted at Kamiki in season 2. I got the whole. I think he passed Ruby at the gravesite of I or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, so it wasn't complete spoiler, if you will,
Sure.
but it
Hmm.
certainly was a choice to make.
Yeah. And like I guess I get it for like the anime onlys to like give them something to look forward to, a tease of some kind. I kind of get it that way, but also, yeah, I much prefer it. I think the way it comes in the manga here because we actually, well, for one, we understand the context of that scene much better. I imagine,
Yeah,
but also having had the background we got like in the previous volume with how Akane uncovered a lot of these things about Kamiki and whatnot. Like we've gotten that, and I feel like
yeah,
we need that.
yeah. So odd choice by the anime, but I think
Hmm,
it was fine in the manga.
definitely.
Now, I guess quickly speaking about Yuta, the person he killed, was she going to get uh, a role in the I movie,
That was my
or was that
understanding,
never? Oh,
but
okay.
it doesn't need to be that way, obviously. But I did read it that way,
Uh
where
huh.
especially the first time,
I
since
read it that way the first time. Yeah,
hmm
yeah, yeah. Same.
yeah. So I obviously
And then the second time, I was unsure
it's definitely not like for sure. It's quite
uh,
unclear, actually. But
because
hmm,
I just wasn't sure if that was the reason why he killed her. Because I
ah,
don't know, he doesn't want her in the movie. But the movie's got to go on. But I don't think he knows that the movie is going to uh, potentially incriminate him.
as far as we know, he may not even know about the movie being in production.
Yeah, so maybe he just happened to get lucky.
I
Oh my
guess
gosh, that's
potentially.
terrible.
Uh, right, but like my understanding of his character at this point is that he this is just something that he does, and he's been doing
Uh,
it. Like he's been killing women, uh,
yeah, clearly he
like
must have
this
been.
the whole time.
Yeah, yeah.
Oof.
Wild, 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 wild.
Yeah. But that's all there.
Yeah,
All right, then let's talk, I guess, briefly about Masanori Shima, this dirty, dirty dude.
man, that
Um,
director was a piece of crap in the end.
yeah.
I I think we were both like, you know what? I do have my apprehensions, but I think it'll be okay. I think it'll
Yeah.
be okay in the end.
Yeah, and that
No,
was not okay. Like sure
what a dirtbag.
he didn't like physically force himself
Yeah,
on her,
look,
but he did
right.
like manipulate he was attempting to manipulate her, and that is very, very foul.
I'll give him 1 star for stopping.
Uh-huh.
Not forcing himself
Sure.
completely.
Oh yeah.
But that's it.
And that's a very low bar.
It's a very low bar.
Oh
It's
man.
absolutely terrible.
Mhm.
What?
Mhm.
Gosh dang. And so the Akasaka and Yokoyari make it seem like this is somewhat of a common occurrence within the industry, and maybe it is. I don't know. I'm not Japanese. I'm not in Hollywood. I'm not. I don't know.
Mm.
But I I just, to me, it just seems so sad that
Yeah.
even though you guys are or these two people, the director and his wife, were married, they're just off having relationships with other people. It's just different. I guess there's different nowadays. There's a lot of polyamorous relationships. I should say a lot. There's more than there have been in the past, but I don't know.
Hmm.
Not my cup of tea, and it's not a great thing to be known for. Or I don't know if this is a standard. I don't think it's a standard practice. It can't be.
Like the arrangement that he and his wife have. You mean like that thing specifically,
or yeah,
or
let me clarify. Well, I guess that, but also getting to know your actors
mm,
before hiring them.
yeah? I mean, I hope it's not like super common, and I don't think it's super common, but it definitely does occur, and that is very sad that it does.
Yeah, yeah,
It is very sad.
indeed.
But yeah, I don't expect we'll see much more of him.
Nah, I think he's done. Unless
Mm.
we see that Aqua was the big brain conspiracy behind it all. I mean, I don't think we'll actually. Even if that's the case, we still won't see him. I think
Right.
he's done. His character's gone,
Yeah.
and I'm happy about that. Like I
Same. Yeah. I can
don't
do without
care.
him.
Don't care. Yeah.
Well, any other characters you want to talk about?
No, we covered them all.
We have indeed. Well then, let's jump into predictions. And I honestly don't have too much, but there is obviously the thing about Aqua's plan for revenge. I have a vague idea of what it could be. Um,
Okay.
but well, I also wanted to ask you maybe before I share mine, if you have any speculations on what that could be.
Yeah. So earlier I mentioned that I had mentioned my thoughts about the plan could be in the previous episode. Now I'm thinking like maybe I actually didn't do that. I can't remember.
Hmm.
But my thinking is that by putting on this movie, he'll showcase how his father manipulated I in whatever way he did, and basically out him for the man he is,
Hmm.
and ruin his career that way.
Hmm.
I feel like that has to be the goal of the movie.
Yeah.
And then once that happens, I feel like Kamiki is gonna try to go after Aqua and probably harm him. Um,
Mm.
and from there, I don't know what happens. Like,
Right.
it feels like Aqua is prepared for the worst, as we stated. Um, I don't think I personally don't think it's like suicide or anything like that. Sacrifice himself to kill Kamiki or something crazy like
Yeah.
that.
Uh-huh.
I just think he's putting himself in danger by doing this.
That's fair, and that would also kind of justify what he said earlier after Ruby had left the room about,
Yeah.
yeah, potentially that being a death flag. But yeah, I had basically the exact same thought regarding Aqua using this movie to out Kamiki to the public and the dreadful things that he's done. And I had the idea that well, because of how beloved I was and still is to a degree, and I think with the movie they can kind of bring up her popularity back up to, well, maybe not exactly where it was, but they'll be able to like increase Ai's popularity again to a degree through the movie and make fans love Ai a lot again, and then her multitude of fans won't let Kamiki relax for a second. Like
Mm-hmm.
how they'll use maybe the fan base to harass Kamiki
Interesting.
was the thought that I had. But yeah, obviously that is really just speculation. Um, Regardless, I think yeah, we definitely agree on that they're gonna use the movie to out Kamiki, uh,
Yeah.
in some sense, and how it goes from there, I guess we'll see.
Well, here's something I want to talk about in predictions is I feel like something wrong has to happen. Whether
True.
within the movie or after it. And maybe that wrong is that uh, Kamiki wants to go after Aqua and Ruby.
Yeah.
But I feel like that wrong could also be that Kamiki gets wind of this movie somehow
Oh yeah.
and the script and how it could actually be, very bad for his career.
Hmm.
And so maybe he goes after the people, the cast somehow. And I think it would make sense if he found out that Akane was playing Ai and went after her, because if
Oof.
you take out the Ai character, then do you have a movie?
Yeah.
But Akane would play into it, trying to get him caught,
Oh yeah.
trying to meddle into it all.
Yeah.
So that's my prediction.
I like that. And ever since the previous volume, my fondness for Akane has increased quite a lot. And
Uh,
I I yeah, I think I would really like that. It would also make sense for him to go after Akane just because of how talented and high value she is. Um,
true, true.
she definitely fits the type of person that I think he would go after.
Yeah. Speaking of casting within the movie,
Oh yeah.
um, so Akko casts himself as the killer, which I assume is just the crazy college student, right? Like the
Oh
actual
yeah.
one who stabbed her. But he casts Himekawa as the who's going by Himekawa now. Or is it? Did he always go by Himekawa?
I think he was
Maybe it
always
was
Himekawa.
Himekawa.
Taiki Himekawa, yeah.
He was always Himekawa. Right. I feel bad for his dad who did nothing wrong, but anyway.
Yeah.
Or actually, no, wait, no, his dad did something,
Or,
but his
yeah, right.
his
His biological
not
dad
actual
did
dad.
something very wrong.
Exactly. But anyway, Himekawa is playing the star Laidalai student, which we know it has to be Kamiki, right?
Hmm.
So I'm just curious, the casting there, like why he would go, he would cast Himekawa as him and not himself when he himself, supposedly looks like Kamiki.
He has the looks for sure. I think Himekawa has better acting skills that may be required
Yeah, hands down,
for this.
hands down.
Um,
Sure.
but I did have a similar thought, and I was even like slightly confused when I read this casting the first time. It's like, wait, Taiki Himekawa is Theater Lalalai's star actor presently. Is he just playing himself? I'm like, but no.
He is eternal.
No, but that is very interesting, and it was very funny also to see how Melt Narumi is gonna play Ichigo,
Yeah.
like Ichigo Saito, and Frill Shiranui will play Miyako. I think it's very fun to see that.
Yeah. It's all about who you know. I mean, it's that kind of industry.
Yeah.
You gotta make friends, unless it's, a Marvel production. No, even then you gotta make friends with people.
But I guess the one thing that I have maybe that I don't know, I'm a little bit iffy on, or I don't know how to explain it, but seeing that Kana is what she was only cast as like one of the other Bikomachi members. Now
Mm-hmm.
it seems, or at least to me, it spontaneously felt like that's like a small role, but it doesn't have to be. I guess it could be that she gets like a little bit more of a standout acting role,
Yeah.
compared to maybe the other two there.
Yeah.
Hopefully, she definitely deserves to act, and yeah, yeah. Give her some scenes with Himekawa and with Kurokawa, and like let her act. I just want to see her act.
I agree. And through this movie, we could actually start to see the personalities of the other members of Bikomachi through their acting skills.
Right.
Although I never knew Mem-cho to be an actor, but I she's talented. I'm sure she could do fine.
Yeah.
Interesting to see how Ruby goes about doing this as well. This is her first acting job, as they mentioned in the first volume as well.
Exactly.
So
finally, and
circle.
it's also funny how in the first volume, or at least I can't remember if it was actually like spelled out in the volume or if this was something that I talked about in our first volume discussion, but about Ruby acting and having like a skill for acting. Um, I think maybe Aqua made a comment about that at some point when they were like kids, about her acting being pretty good.
Mm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been like keeping that in the back of my head ever since. And so yeah, I'm
That's
very
true.
excited
You
to see
have.
her do acting and see how she'll fare.
It's interesting. I think we have three potential good actresses in the story that could all probably play Ai pretty well. Obviously, Akane, who has embodied Ai to a degree that obviously I have had issues with. Um,
Yeah.
and then you have Kana, who's just this extremely talented actress who I think she could do Ai. I mean, obviously she doesn't look exactly like Ai, but I think she could play the role very well.
Hmm.
But then you have Ruby, who, similar to her brother, looks very similar to her mother.
Mhm.
Um, and you almost wonder if she would have been a perfect casting opportunity for I, especially since, as you brought up, that it had been hinted that maybe she could have this great acting talent as well.
Mhm.
Um, so I don't know. It clearly Akane is the one who's getting the role right now, but I almost wonder if Ruby's somehow going to be pushed. Sorry to apologize to Kana, but I almost wonder if Ruby's going to be pushed into the spotlight and somehow take the role of I for some reason.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Like I agree that Ruby seems to be like the second best option.
Yeah,
Sorry, Kana.
yeah, I know.
But like
I know.
Akane
I'm sorry.
is a no brainer. Like
I agree.
with
I mean,
everything. Like
yeah, I totally agree. It just, you know, she's Ruby Hoshino. It seems almost
yeah.
like foolish to not have her there. That being said, if you remember when I was starting her acting career, she kind of took the spotlight in that production that she was
Ah,
in.
true.
Um, no, I mean, no offense to Akane, but maybe somehow she does the same thing, following in Ai's footsteps in that way,
I like that. That's very
maybe.
fun. Yeah.
That's actually not a bad way to look at it.
Uh-huh.
I do have one last prediction,
All right, give it to me.
and this is more of a conspiracy theory.
Oh.
So, we we talked about how some scandals are leaked by members of their own idol group.
Yeah.
Someone is forced to retire, so then they start spreading rumors about all these people. And sometimes there's just jealousy that can happen. So my crackpot theory is, could one of the former Bikomachi members have been working in the shadows with Kamiki to,
Oh.
I maybe not so much get uh I pregnant, that's really sad if that would be the case, but maybe
Hmm.
more so just to follow where she is and
Yeah.
how he's able to find her,
Right.
and send the killer that way. Like, could there have been an accomplice in that way? So I just throw it out there,
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
to bring it to the film, maybe that's why Kana is casted as one of the Bikumachi members, is that she's going to play this, you know, secret accomplice.
Oh yeah.
That's my grand conspiracy.
I
I don't
like
really
it.
believe it, but
I mean,
it could be really interesting.
fair, and I don't know if I necessarily believe it either, but it would make sense with how that type of trope or whatever you want to call it was mentioned or was this described in this manga or in this volume.
Yeah.
So it definitely could be foreshadowing something like that. Um, definitely would be interesting. Uh, of course, it works without it as well because like we know that I had talked to Kamiki on the phone shortly before everything went to shit.
Yeah.
So like they had been in touch and she could have given him her information and whatnot.
Well, yeah, and she wanted him to see the twins,
Yeah.
you know?
Hmm.
Um, so there was certainly no sense of animosity, um, from him, at least that she could tell.
Well, yeah.
Um, but I don't know. Just throwing it out there. It felt like it would be a pretty interesting plot twist to this.
Definitely, yeah. But that's all for predictions, I assume.
Yeah, that's it.
Lovely. Then, who's the star of this volume to you?
Yeah, I mean, my biases are clear. I'm gonna give it to Kana just because I feel that she stood up for herself, and yes, Aqua did save the day at the end, but I don't know. I love Aqua too much, and I no, oh my gosh, I love
Freudian
Kana
slip.
too much. Oh no! No.
you, you heard it here.
Uh,
James loves Aqua.
I need to sit down. Oh, I'm probably sitting down. I need to go lie down. No, so I love. Oh my gosh, I said it again. I love Kana.
Yeah.
Kana is my favorite character, and it just felt so nice to have her come out of her shell again, or maybe not shell, just to be Kana again. And even though the world was turning against her, it seemed she got back up and said, "Bring it on," and that's why I love Kana.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. And I had to go with Kana as well for my star.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was just such a blast to see her. Well, I mean, she went from being all totally down in the dumps at the start of the volume to, seemingly feeling great over the course of the volume, and I loved seeing her hype herself up and not letting the fan comments get to her too much, and all of that, and yeah, and as you helped me understand, like, this was also the origin of her nickname for Aqua, which was a fun little thing, and yeah, it was just so fun to see her back in her element in this volume.
Yeah, good stuff. Good volume.
Definitely a very good volume. Like, the previous one and this one have both been excellent in my opinion, and I can only hope that the remaining 5 volumes will keep up this momentum.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying Oshinoko again.
Yay!
For sure.
Yay! Same for sure. Yeah, and then I agree. But like, it had maybe like a few, or a couple volumes there for a moment that weren't like peak. But yeah, currently it's very good.
Yeah, and it was also frustrating to see Kana get it, kicked down so many times. But that even some of those volumes were still really good.
Oh yeah.
Like the previous one, I think we still really enjoyed.
Yeah.
But it is really nice and satisfying to see Kana in a better place.
Absolutely. And yeah, dear listeners, let us know who was your star character of this volume. Would be very fun to hear.
Yes, please.
But I suppose that's all for today.
That's it. Wrap it up.
Very well. If you enjoy our podcast, please share it with your friends. You'll find links to our social media in the description, and you can support us by rating our show on the podcast platforms and subscribing to our channel, Umami Manga, on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time when we'll talk about Volume 12. Bye-bye!
See you later!
Great.
Did you notice how the actress who was killed, she had like a Mickey Mouse phone case?
Yeah, I did.
It's no shortage of Disney love in Japan, I feel like.